Sorry, I'm very tired.
What's going on?
Sorry, I'm just very tired from our week.
Yeah? What's been going on this week?
Oh, not much. Just a lot.
Stuff and things. All right. I hear you.
I feel like we missed an opportunity this week.
What do you think? What? Why is that? Tell me why. Come on.
Well, you and I have been doing this show remotely. You in your mansion, me in my shitbox for a couple of years now.
True.
Pandemic time, right? Well, we're pushing show number 80. I feel like it's too bad. I feel like we should have maybe been in the same place at the same time. I don't know. And if we were, I feel like we should have taken advantage of that.
Oh, really? Well, I hear you.
There it is! Oh, look at that. Reunited, and it feels so good.
Oh, yeah. What is this face-to-face stuff, man? What is
face-to-face? That's right, folks. The Rob and I were together in the same place at the same time. I did not get overly emotional when I first saw him, although I was feeling it. And we were in the same place, although it's so funny. We were like making these grand plans that we were going to shoot an episode of Week's End together. Yeah. And, we had all these funny videos we were going to do. And we barely had time to breathe, let alone sleep, and ended up accomplishing nothing. This is actually, this photo was taken just before we wrapped our 25th shoot of 37 guests in 20 hours in 2 sets. And this was right at the end. So we look fresh-faced and extremely handsome, but the reality is we are both exhausted, sweaty, probably a little gassy, not quite drunk enough. And actually, we had missed the drinks. Remember, we went to that reception. We were like, "What the fuck?" And there was no drinks left.
Yeah, the event had already been wrapped for the main event. The broadcast event had been wrapped for a couple hours,
and we were still shooting in our studio. But it was great to see you. It was great to be.
I love how. Person. Do you remember our colleague, the woman who took this photo? She had to coach us to make sure we open our eyes enough to make it look like we're alive.
I know. She did. That is a true story. The two of us looked
so I learned a new secret. You have to close your eyes, and then on the count of 3 you open, and it's I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna look really weird and look like I was shocked or something, but as you can see,
I remember you saying that.
I barely look alive. You're right.
We were barely alive at this point. But you know what, buddy? We got it done. It was a wild week or so leading up to it.
Yeah.
It was a great 3 days, which feels like a whirlwind because it was in Boston, but I had different expectations going into that week, and did it end up different than I expected, but better. Yeah. We got the job done. It was mission accomplished.
Definitely. So if you want to see any of the highlights from our wild week in Boston with all of our clients, partners, and of course our really brilliant colleagues, we did do some behind the scenes teasery type of coverage all throughout the shoot.
We did. It was after shoot. I mean, it was just insane. It was
no, but I'm really excited.
And there was some sushi in there. We got a little bit of sushi. That was a positive. The two of us looked like we were dead at that dinner, but would you like to share that photo?
At the dinner? Let me do that.
Hold on, I'll get you that.
I will say that I'm really excited to share all of these stories. So we're going to go into post-production with Myriad, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah,
it is going to be awesome. And I was really proud of the work that we accomplished. We got some serious stuff done, and we had some fun doing. Okay, I got to find this picture of the two of us half dead trying to eat sushi. Let's see if I.
Well,
I have actually permanently. Oh no! Here we go. This is not quite as. I keep hitting the wrong button here.
Wrong button.
I'll get you the photo here in just a second. But I forgot. We went out. It was Monday night that we went out.
Yeah.
That's not working.
Well, you got
can't
it in the
even
chat
hear me
here
anymore,
now.
can you?
Yeah.
It's not even. I can't even get it to come up on this end. So let's not worry about it. I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a nice one for you. Check this out. We got the crew wrap photo here.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good time. So shout out to all the folks of Myriad Media for helping us create an awesome shoot this week.
Yeah, Myriad, and I think the one here in Boston was called Fraser. Is that right? Frazer. They were great.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, let's get into the show today. Oh wow, check it out. We got Tony. Just
On Zoom, we're all the same height.
Oh yeah, that's something that we've learned is that I'm actually 4'2" and Graeme is 8'7", but somehow through the miracle of technology, we make people look the same here on Week's End.
We do. But technically, I'm actually 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I found it. There's the link. It's in the chat now. You can show what 2 tired dudes look like when they're trying to smile while eating sushi.
Oh nope, that's the same picture that you gave me before.
Damn it! All right,
you know what? You work on that. Let's get into the show, folks.
Let's go.
So, first thing here that I know you want to talk about is the teaser and the photos of a new Lego set. And why are you so excited about this, Graeme?
Well, I mean, Optimus Prime basically is my Lord and Savior, so right. I'm really excited about it. I still don't have that Gen 1 Optimus that I'd like to have, although admittedly I'd rather have Jetfire, as Travis knows, but this just looks great. I love the fact that it transforms. I don't care that it's kind of a weak sauce transform, like it's like 3 things. I don't care. I just love the fact that it does it. And it's so funny. A guy I follow on Twitter the other day was saying now he's looking at all of his Transformers collection and going, could these be Legos? It's like now let's go ahead and re-release everything as Legos.
Well, the amazing thing is when you look at this photo, not only are they claiming it will transform, which I have some questions about, but this doesn't even look like a Lego set. It's almost like photo accurate of a Gen 1 Optimus Prime.
Yes, and I think that's what I really like about it is it's the right Optimus.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's the right Optimus, but my point is, if standing back, I mean, you don't see sort of like normally like a Lego is kind of like, it's a little different than what you would have in a reference model, right?
Yes.
But this is pretty darn spot on, which I'm guessing they've made several probably pieces that are unique to the set to get this effect and get it to be so accurate.
I think so too. I'm excited about this, and I gotta have it. I gotta have it.
Yeah,
I gotta have it.
All right.
That's it.
Well, look, I'm gonna show this terrible, terrible picture of you and I hanging.
Oh boy. So, 2 tired dudes eating the sushi. Let's see it.
I'm getting there.
Boy.
I got to put it over in the right window here. Let me add, through the miracle of technology, folks, we were able to check this out, folks. I'm going to zoom in. Hang on. Oh, my God. You know what? This was only night 1. And
I know!
Such a rookie mistake that we didn't actually take the photo with this. The sushi itself, the presentation, the sushi was gorgeous. It was delicious.
It was. You've been up since 3. You've been up since 3. And I've been up since like
this is me almost being up for like 20 hours at this point. But yeah. Set life is not for the timid, folks. That's all we gotta say.
No.
Work hard, play hard. So that was fun, man. I really am glad we got to do that.
Bursting out of that track jacket, which of course I probably am.
Well, it's all right. It's all right. Well, what do we want to talk about next? I want to get into the fact that it seems like there's a new series that we want to watch coming up in July, and there's a new teaser trailer out for the show coming up, man. So I saw this on Consequence TV's website, but it's on YouTube. You can watch the teaser. I was kind of confused when they showed the Resident Evil like set photography and the nice like the cast photos a few weeks ago. But this trailer, I've got to be honest, it's got me a little more excited because it appears as though it is sort of like not a reimagining so much as what the cast photos led you to believe, but it does look like they're going to get into it. What did you think?
I think so too. I mean, I think it looks great. The quality of it looks great. I love there's like a 0.5 second clip where you see this weird dancing like teddy bear thing. So like you can tell,
like a 3D.
Yeah. So you can tell there's just going to be some real creepy stuff in this. But I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it because I think they've done so many throwback with with the video games themselves. They've released all of the original games as new next generation graphics, and they've polished it so much, and that's really great. We love retro games. I have really enjoyed playing those on the PlayStation. However, this is going into the future. This is taking Albert Wesker's daughter and showing what is going to happen looking forward, and it looks like it's set in London, I suppose, in I think the teaser said 2036. So I think there's a sequence from her childhood, and then it jumps forward something like 20 to 15 years.
Ooh, wow, 15 years.
So I'm looking forward to it. What do you think would happen after 15 years of a zombie apocalypse? Because most zombie apocalypse films are about the outbreak and how do you survive and how do you adapt.
So what do I think? I think that there would be no zombies left. I think there'd be no gasoline, no electricity, no firearms, because unless they're manufacturing new
everything
ones,
would break down. You mean just go to dust? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I actually, one of the best sort of post-apocalyptic things I've seen in a long time, and really gave me a sense of like this is what it would be like.
Yeah,
was Station 11.
Oh, you're right.
There's just like nothing, because remember, all the gas in the world it's over within 2 years. No, not within a week, but I mean like its ability to stay fresh. And in fact, I read that about firearms as well, which is like bullets don't last forever.
As we've seen with recent real life current events, like once the refineries stop and once the shipment stops, like things break down pretty darn quick.
Yeah,
it's all about who controls that sort of supply chain, which
it's true.
Every time we say supply chain now, drink one. So
I know.
Cheers, my friend.
You mentioned retro gaming, and I got to tell you, I did something earlier today.
What did you do today?
I'm gonna try to take a bit of a break from social media.
Oh,
full disclosure.
Well, this is a normal thing for you. Well, don't you it seems like a pattern now. Every summer you sort of take a hiatus.
Yes, I'm going to stop my camera just for a second to see if I can't get my computer to catch up a little bit. But yeah, so I do. I'm doing it a little earlier for various reasons this year, but I still need something to do, right? So I put a bid on an original Game Boy, but what they did is they put a new higher resolution screen. They backlight it. They give you the ability to add color to it, and then they replace the battery with a rechargeable battery that you plug into the back, and they put a different processor on it. So it's basically a Game Boy where I can play my original Game Boy cartridges, which are here, but it's like a whole new platform. So I'm fingers crossed I'll win that auction. And what I like about it,
translating games into color or something. What's it?
No, it's not translating, but like you can change the LED screen color. Now I probably won't, but you can if you want to. And what's really nice is that 50% of the proceeds from this go to benefit a children's hospital for cancer, which I'm excited about. So I'm hoping I win this auction and get a fancy. Now, my existing original Game Boy that I have will simply be carefully preserved in the Noseworthy archives, but I'll actually physically play the other one quite frequently.
It's probably
I love Game Boy games.
It's probably a good thing because then you can sort of put it under glass and maybe put some spotlights, maybe some security lasers or
I've got to have lasers. How can you not have lasers?
Yeah. All right. Well, it wouldn't be a Weeks In show, folks, without us having sort of a question of the week. So this one's going to be Star Trek related, folks. Let's bring it up. So Graeme, you had a question for one of your buddies, but I said we should open it up to our entire, tens of fans on Weeks In. So what do we got here?
So huge fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm sure that's a shock to everybody that sees this, but this particular episode, which is from season 3, episode 6, the title of the episode is Booby Trap. If you know Star Trek, you know this episode very, very well. It's one of their best. And there's this scene where Geordi is in the holodeck program that recreates the draftsman's table office area at Utopia Planitia Shipyards, which, of course, as everybody knows, is in Mars, or at Mars. I think that's what it is, right? Anyway, and in one of the shots, you see this ship. And now I have always noticed this ship because the nacelles are not in the warp nacelles are not. Well, I'm really fucking nerding out here, aren't I?
Yes.
But the warp nacelles are not in the correct position. Normally, they're like this, but in this ship, they're like this. So I reached out to Mike Okuda, and I was like, Mike, you got to help me figure this out. What was the deal with this? Was it meant to be a test bed for the Galaxy class? Which, if you know the episode, that makes sense because they're showing the development of the Galaxy class starship or Enterprise D. Or was it just a set piece? And so I thought he was going to come back with some answer like, no, we wanted it to look like they were testing the engines because this was the drafting room at Utopia Planitia. And he's like, no, somebody on the set that day just dropped it, broke it, and then glued the nacelles on wrong because they didn't know. And so you can see his answer there on the right. And I just love that because I didn't expect that. Awesome. I actually thought he was going to be like, no, it was just a model of another ship, or, oh, it was a test bed, or we were trying to, but nope, somebody just busted the model and glued it back on wrong. And man, I just thought that was such a great answer. And as Dave Ellis, if you're watching, as you know, Mike is just very accessible on Twitter. This is a really famous, important person who does a lot of production. I mean, For All Mankind, if you know For All Mankind, Mike and his wife work on that. They worked on Star Trek: The Next Generation. He's a really great person. He's very political, which I also think is great. He puts out a lot of really important information. And I really appreciate what he does, but he's a very accessible person. So if you have a question about Star Trek, he's going to answer. He's not going to engage you 20 tweets deep, but he'll give you the answer. And that's you know amazing. What? I really respect when people are like that. And I love
factoids like that. I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it. I love it, man. That's cool. So I also love how a lot of times you have folks like yourself who maybe nerd out a little too hard, trying to find some deep sort of Easter egg, secret. You've uncovered a deep, dark secret about how nacelles were developed. And
think about my logic behind that. My logic was the Galaxy class hadn't been built yet, so maybe they took those nacelles, which are a totally different configuration than we'd ever seen in Star Trek, as far as I remember, and maybe they put them on a Enterprise class or a Constitution class or some other class of ship and tested them out. To me, it made sense, and in the context of that scene, it also made sense. Nope, somebody just dropped it, broke it, and glued them on wrong.
I love it. Love it. All right, man. Well, let's get into our sort of last discussion, our main discussion of the day. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about some multiverse action. So, Doctor Strange 2 came out.
I don't think we should go too deep in this because it's relatively new. I don't want any spoilers.
Okay.
I know this film is getting a lot of mixed. People love it. People hate it. People thought it was good. People thought it was terrible.
People hate it? I don't know.
I have seen some people really not saying positive things. Maybe take that off. That GIF is annoying. Maybe bring us back to full screen. But I am a big fan of Sam Raimi's work. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness is one of the funniest films I've ever seen.
I would argue he's made the best Spider-Man film. I'll die on that hill.
I would agree, and that's what you said shortly after you had to hear me tell my hockey family story for the 500th time. But, this was pure, kind of like French Dispatch was pure, unrefined Wes Anderson. Mm-hmm. This was pure, unrefined Sam Raimi. And I really respect it. It was nice to see the Oldsmobile again. It was nice to see all of his tips and tricks. There's a huge amount of tips and tricks, the way he shoots things. There was a huge amount of direct references to his past films. So if you're Sam Raimi, first of all, I just liked the movie. Sure, it had some slow parts, but I really liked it. I thought it was a very Doctor Strange-ish movie, like what you would expect coming out of the comic books, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Sam Raimi film, you're going to absolutely a fan. I mean, you're going to absolutely
Oh, for
love
sure.
it.
And I will say, I've seen it, and I loved it. I went to the Alamo. I geeked out. I enjoyed myself. And I will say, I was having some Twitter conversations with other folks about this film, like Christina Garnett, who is self-professed Marvel fangirl and works for one of our friends that works at HubSpot, of course.
Yep.
She was making a great point, and I would love to have her back on the show to talk about this. But we needed like more Sam Raimi in it. Like that was what worked about the film, and I think both of us agree with that. Yeah. The writing kind of was flimsy in some spots, and maybe you need some of that. Maybe it was too long. If you would have condensed it down to just sort of the most Sam Raimi-ish kind of Sam Raimi moments, it would have been a very sort of weird, dark horror, awesome film. But I think they had to do all the sort of superhero-ish stuff to fill in the blanks, and that kind of made it feel bloated. And I just wanted more of the awesomeness, right? And I don't want to give away too much. Maybe we'll get into spoilers and have a debate with Christina and others on a future episode.
Yeah. No, I would agree with all of that. Just trying to get my computer to catch up here. Having a bad day with this computer, buddy. But
I think your computer's been through the paces this week. Let's not lie.
You think?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've been put through my paces this week.
Well, I enjoyed the film overall.
Yeah.
I would say that it's interesting to see, if you think about just the fact of the MCU, where we've been to this point. I saw someone else comment that it felt like all the Marvel films were disjoint now and didn't have a plan like the earlier phases did. I would argue the opposite. I would say that the first phases were just like origin stories that even though there were ties in there, we had no idea that it was going to be this huge,
but that's
Marvel
not how
the
Marvel universe in the comics wasn't one cohesive thing. There were lots of different.
But I'm telling you what, now I would say more than ever, this is all a well-orchestrated storyline that you may not be able to see all the ties, especially if you're not like a super Marvel fanboy or fangirl. But I guarantee you it's there, and I can't wait for the payoff.
So I would agree with that. And just like the Week's End cinematic universe, it's all carefully coordinated.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, dude, that's our show, man.
All right.
That's our show. I want to give everybody one last shot of some Griot face-to-face love, and we are with our third friend here, Spot the Robot, which was awesome. I mean, just mind-blowing to see Spot do his thing in real life. I know you're an old pro. You're a certified, seasoned operator of a Spot.
I am.
The Spot platform at this point. But for me, I was just like, this is jaw-dropping technology, and all the naysayers talking about how it's Black Mirror, I don't think they really get it into what this platform, this robot, all the cool technology that IBM is helping put into this. I don't think, it's not even fully realized yet, even 2 years into production, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a wonderful machine. It's a ton of fun. I had a lot of fun playing with my robot BFF again. Don't worry, you're my biological robot BFF. My nerd.
I'm the nerd. You said I was the nerd FF.
You are. You're the best nerd friend.
Best nerd friend. All right, I'll take the title.
You're BNFF.
Happily, I will accept it happily. All right.
But it was good to see everybody. Good to be on another show. We got to talk about Week's End 80. I think we're going to need to bring back some guests and have a little fun.
For sure. I think that would be awesome. I think we'll give that some thought, and we might have some big news on that episode as well, so stay tuned for that. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, I'm the Rab. This is Mr. Graeme Noseworthy, aka at Graeme Nose. Follow us on the socials, and we'll talk to you on the next episode of Week's End.
Reunited, and it feels so good.